Now the interpretation, theories of personality and psychopathology. Sigmund Freud is the founder of classic psychoanalysis. In this video, we are going to talk about Sigmund Freud because he is the founder of classic psychoanalysis, and we will also talk about the life of Sigmund Freud in brief, and we will also talk about the beginnings of psychoanalysis in this video. I hope you all will patiently listen to this video. Okay, let's start. Psychoanalysis was the child of Sigmund Freud's genius. He put his stamp on it from the very beginning, and it can be fairly stated that although the science and theory of psychoanalysis has advanced far beyond Freud, his influence is still strong and pervasive. Counting the progressive stages in the evolution of the origins of Freud's psychoanalytic thinking, it is useful to keep in mind that Freud himself was working against the background of his own neurological training and expertise and in the context of the scientific thinking of his era. The science of psychoanalysis is the bedrock of psychodynamic understanding and forms the fundamental theoretical frame of reference for a variety of forms of therapeutic intervention, embracing not only psychoanalysis itself, but various forms of psychoanalytically oriented psychotherapy and related forms of therapy employing psychodynamic concepts. Currently, considerable interest has been generated in efforts to connect psychoanalytic understandings of human behavior and emotional experience with emerging findings of neuroscientific research. Consequently, an informed and clear understanding of the fundamental facets of psychoanalytic theory and orientation are essential for the student's grasp of a large and significant segment of current psychiatric thinking. At the same time, psychoanalysis is undergoing a creative ferment in which classical perspectives are constantly being challenged and revised, leading to a diversity of emphases and viewpoints, all of which can be regarded as representing aspects of psychoanalytic thinking. This has given rise to the question as to whether psychoanalysis is one theory or more than one. The divergence of multiple theoretical variants raises the question of the degree to which newer perspectives can be reconciled with classical perspectives. The spirit of creative modifications in theory was inaugurated by Freud himself. Some of the theoretical modifications of the classic theory after Freud have attempted to reformulate basic analytic propositions while still retaining the spirit and fundamental insights of a Freudian perspective. Others have challenged and abandoned basic analytic insights in favor of divergent paradigms that seem radically different and even contradictory to basic analytic principles. Although there is more than one way to approach the diversity of such material, the decision has been made to organize this material along roughly historical lines, tracing the emergence of analytic theory or theories over time, but with a good deal of overlap and some redundancy. But there is an overall pattern of gradual emergence, progressing tracing the emergence of analytic theory or theories over time, but with a good deal of overlap and some redundancy. But there is an overall pattern of gradual emergence, progressing from early derived theory to structural theory to ego psychology to object relations and on to itself to self-psychology, intersubjectivism, and relational approaches. Psychoanalysis today is recognized as having three crucial aspects: It is a therapeutic technique, a body of scientific and theoretical knowledge, and a method of investigation. This section focuses on psychoanalysis as both a theory and a treatment, but the basic tenets elaborated here have wide applications to non-psychoanalytic settings in clinical psychiatry. So this is all about classic psychoanalysis, whose founder is Sigmund Freud. And now let's know about the life of Freud in brief. Sigmund Freud, born in 1856 and died in 1939, was born in Freienberg, a small town in Moravia, which is now part of the Czech Republic. When Freud was 4 years old, his father, a Jewish wool merchant, moved the family to Vienna, where Freud spent most of his life. Following medical school, he specialized in neurology and studied for a year in Paris with Jean-Martin Charcot. He was also influenced by Ambroise Auguste Legault and Hippolyte Marie Barheim, both of whom taught him hypnosis while he was in France. After his education in France, he returned to Vienna and began clinical work with hysterical patients. Between 1887 and 1897, his work with these patients led him to develop psychoanalysis. Now let's talk about the beginnings of psychoanalysis. In the decade from 1887 to 1897, Freud immersed himself in the serious study of the disturbances in his hysterical patients, resulting in discoveries that contributed to the beginnings of psychoanalysis. These slender beginnings had a threefold aspect: emergence of psychoanalysis as a method of investigation, as a therapeutic technique, and as a body of scientific knowledge based on an increasing fund of information and basic theoretical propositions. These early researches flowed out of Freud's initial collaboration with Joseph Brunner, and then increasingly from his own independent investigations and theoretical developments. So that's all about the life of Sigmund Freud and about how psychoanalysis began and how Sigmund Freud became the founder of classic psychoanalysis. I hope in our next classes, or in you who are listening to this video, will try to know more about psychoanalysis and about the life of Sigmund Freud. And last of all, I would like to thank you very much for watching and listening to this video. Bye-bye.